Basically, when we think of couples, what do you think of? You think of the love, the romance, right? You think of the conflict. I can tell this is going to be a fun after-lunch group. And one of the things that you need to keep in mind is no matter whether that couple in front of you resembles Laura and Rob Petrie from the Dick Van Dyke Show, or Edith and Archie from All in the Family, or Claire and Cliff Huxtable from the Cosbys, or Mitch and Cameron from Modern Family, the fact of the matter is these couples really need your help talking about money. If you think about it, the divorce rate in this country is 50% for first marriages. And they recently did a study by the National Foundation of Credit Counseling, and they found that people who are engaged, 68% of those folks engaged said that they had a negative attitude towards talking about money with their soon-to-be spouse. And 5% went as far as to say, I'd call the wedding off. So why is that? Why are we so afraid to talk about money with our significant other? Well, we live in a culture that, as you all know, is very skilled, top-producing advisors. We live in a culture that has a money taboo. And this money taboo is actually leading us to not have these conversations, and ultimately ends up being that maybe that happy couple in front of you doesn't stay happy for so long and ends up splitting. Longer is the assumption that he's going to make the money, and when he makes enough money, he's going to ask her to get married, and he's going to manage the money, she's going to care for the kids. We all know that, right? What has ended up happening is that as the complexity and variation in the modern couple has shifted and changed, modern couples need all of you just that much more. It's much more complex. It's much more confusing. And so when couples come in to see you, they often have different ideas about what they want from their financial life. And your role is to certainly help them out. But there is a money secrecy in our society that's really not useful. It's not helpful for you as an advisor trying to plan for a couple. In order to be successful, you really need to understand what both partners are thinking and feeling about money. And so we end up living in a society that's incredibly money secretive. Now, there are many studies out there about spouses that hide purchases from their spouse, right? So the numbers can go as high as 80%. What I love about this particular chart is it breaks it down according to category. Surprise, surprise, women hide accessory and clothing purchases. But I can tell you from my own experience that I will find a pair of shoes, you know, that 10th pair of black shoes you just have to have. I will buy them, I will bring them home, and I will look and I will go, oh, another pair of black shoes. Put them in the closet, let them marinate and age like fine wine. And then my husband invites me out to dinner some night, and I go, oh, and say, oh, I'll wear those new black shoes. And he walks out and he goes, oh, honey, new black shoes? And oh, these old things. So it's very easy to fall into this statistic, because the first one is often the one that helps you identify, well, what are the areas of strength that I have in working with couples with conflict, and what are my potential blind spots, or what are my triggers that I can get triggered with? Well, in my family, conflict was incredibly quiet. When somebody was mad at somebody, you could hear a pin drop. And I always thought as a kid, oh, that's what families do. That was my experience. Then I had this opportunity to meet this wonderful friend, Gina Bellagamba. I'll never forget, I love Gina Bellagamba. A huge Italian family. I go over there in 7th grade, there's 8 brothers and sisters, and all their extended relatives are living with them, and people are screaming and yelling, and occasionally stuff would fly through the air, and I thought, cool. So not quiet here. But as an adult, what I realized is my family's tendency to be really quiet about conflict, and the Bellagambas' tendency to be really loud about conflict, not necessarily healthy, that it's somewhere in between. I am officially out of time, but I want to end by saying I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come and see me. I really feel very strongly that all of you are in such a wonderful position to help couples have conversations that they're not having in the bedroom, that they're not having with their therapist, that they just are not having unless you set up and create a safe space for them to have it. And so I am thrilled to be able to present this information today, and I hope that it's been beneficial. Thank you.